Hello and welcome back to your version of Heaven on Earth. We're here studying the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and today we're on lesson 287. You are my goal, my Father, only you. And Ken Wapnick offers some commentary as an introduction to this lesson, and I'm going to start off with that, and then we'll jump into the lesson. Jesus underscores what he taught us in lesson 285. If God is our goal, then we must accept the means of forgiveness he has given us. As students of A Course in Miracles, the specific means includes the Course itself. If we are therefore serious about reaching God, we must be serious about what will help us attain our goal. This means that when we hold thoughts of anger, judgment, and specialness, we are stating that God is not our goal, at least not right now. Thus, there is a method in the ego's madness. We do not get angry because of something external, for anger is a defense against the underlying thought of fear that says, if I go home to God, I will disappear. Recall that in the Manual for Teachers, Jesus talks about anger as the heavy curtain that quickly drops to cover the peace of God. If you fear this peace, you need only pick a fight with someone or with yourself by getting sick. Oh boy. The world is adept at supplying innumerable opportunities for us. Once we seek them, we will find them. And when we do, it is because we looked to them to support the ego's goal of separation instead of God's living oneness. So much good stuff is in that intro statement. If I go home to God, I will disappear. It's the full essence of our idea that we are special and that there's something worth worshiping and savoring about this little itty bitty tiny personality matrix that we've created here. And then if you fear this peace, which at some level, as weird as it sounds, we are afraid of the love of God. We are afraid of the peace of God. So Ken says, if you fear this peace, you need only pick a fight with someone or with yourself by getting sick. So that again is tough for some people to hear, tough for me to hear when I'm feeling pain in my body that I chose this. And it's really the ego part of me that wants to, justify my fear of God and fear of peace. So we do weird stuff in our heads, right? In our heads, whatever this field is. Okay, so let's get into the lesson. Lesson 287, you are my goal, my Father, only you. Where would I go but heaven? What could be a substitute for happiness? What gift could I prefer before the peace of God? What treasure would I seek and find and keep that can compare with my identity, with a capital I? And would I rather live with fear than love? You are my goal, my Father. What but you could I desire to have? What way but that which leads to you could I desire to walk? And what except the memory of you could signify to me the end of dreams and futile substitutions for the truth? You are my only goal. Your Son would be as you created him. What way but this could I expect to recognize myself and be at one with my identity? You are my goal. That helps a lot when you think of your day. What are you focusing on? What are the things that you feel like you have to do? If your goal is God, then everything else kind of falls into place nicely in its own way. But we have to remember that we are dreaming, and this is a substitute reality for the real reality. And the more that I read this book and meditate on what these things means, the easier it is for me to accept whenever if I feel like I make a mistake and I think to myself, oh, I'm purchasing furniture and different things for the apartment right now. So I'll think, oh, I should have gotten this, or this was a better deal, or this would have looked better, or whatever. And then I remind myself immediately, oh, I'm dreaming and things don't matter. all of this is just a game. I'm just playing around with materials and colors and, like the money thing too. What am I trying to save money for? Is there a big purchase I'm trying to make? Is there a reason that I don't want to spend all the money that it says things cost? Is it really making me smarter if I find the bargain? I don't know. I don't think so anymore. I used to really get hung up on those things. So there is a section of the course that Ken mentions in his lesson here, chapter 18 from the text, The Passing of the Dream, and the title of the section is The Substitute Reality. So I'm going to read the first 2 paragraphs of this section to you, and then we'll wrap it up for today. The substitute reality. To substitute is to accept instead. If you would but consider exactly what this entails, you would perceive at once how much at variance this is with the goal the Holy Spirit has given you and would accomplish for you. To substitute is to choose between, renouncing one aspect of the sonship in favor of the other. For this special purpose, one is judged more valuable and the other is replaced by him. The relationship in which the substitution occurred is thus fragmented and its purpose split accordingly. To fragment is to exclude, and substitution is the strongest defense the ego has for separation. So even with little things like you're shopping, and I do this, I'm a label reader in the grocery store and all of this, and it doesn't mean as much, I suppose, as when you're substituting one person for another, but it's just this idea that if you choose incorrectly, there's going to be consequences or punishment. And the truth is, everything is united, not just all of us people, we think we're people, but everything, nothing exists in reality. Nothing is different, but we will stress ourselves over choosing and creating this, idea that we've chosen perfectly, which substitutes true reality, which is nothing material, no bodies. All right, second paragraph here. The Holy Spirit never uses substitutes. Where the ego perceives one person as a replacement for another, the Holy Spirit sees them joined and indivisible. He does not judge between them, knowing they are one. Being united, they are one because they are the same. Substitution is clearly a process in which they are perceived different. One would unite, the other separate. Nothing can come between what God has joined and what the Holy Spirit sees as one. But everything seems to come between the fragmented relationship the ego sponsors to destroy. So anytime you feel like you need to choose something different, to substitute one thing for another, check in with yourself and see if you're worried about reality or if it's your ego trying to ruin your day, trying to just make you feel like you're an idiot, you always do the same thing, you always make the same mistakes. Like, don't identify yourself with your habits that seem to be bad habits. If you're getting a message that says, this isn't loving for you, that's different. But if it's, you should know better because of the cost of this, or you should know better about this person and judge this person as whatever you're judging them as, those things are definitely coming from the ego and not from the Holy Spirit, not from love. Because even in situations where you can identify that there are people that you probably don't want to be friends with for whatever reason, still they have the face of Christ. They are you, but it's just a part of you that you've projected and feel comfortable judging and deciding, oh, I'll pass on them. So even in that, there's a way that the ego is trying to keep you stuck here, enslaved to the earth planet of death, destruction, hatred, fear, jealousy, rage, perpetual consequences and punishment and karma, all that stuff. I feel like that's the substitute reality. And we are not here to be punished. We are not here to be set off on a dangerous path that's laden with booby traps and opportunities to become hurt and injured and sad and depressed. That is not God. We are not here for that. We're not even here. I mean, I guess that's the ultimate point, is the more that you dig into the Course and you feel into this idea of unity and oneness, and actually see your own mind doing this substitution business and so much judgment, you realize that it's not getting you anywhere. It's certainly not loving your brother, and it's just merely giving you something else to feel like you have to recover from, which is another thing the ego wants to make us believe, is that we're never going to make it, because every time we make another mistake or go the wrong way, we're going to be punished, and it's going to make our path to salvation longer. Just a bunch of BS. So thank you so much for joining me here today. Lesson 287, you are my goal, my Father, only you. Can that really be your goal today? I hope so. I really love all of you, and I'm so grateful for this work and to be able to share this with you. I hope you have an excellent day, and I'll see you back here again on the next video.